Welcome inside Compton Family Ice Arena in South Bend, Indiana, as we drop the puck on Big Ten Conference play in 2024-25 with the Notre Dame Fighting Irish ranked 19th in the nation, hosting the Wisconsin Badgers on this first day of November. 3 minutes to play in overtime. 1:15 in the Irish power play. Janicki through neutral ice. Here he comes, up the middle, veering left. Leaves for Knuble, left point. Knuble, top of the left circle, wants to shoot, fires, scores! The puck is in! The Irish win! And it's Cole Knuble again! His 6th of the year gets Notre Dame the extra point, and on the power play they win it 3-2 in overtime. Here at Wrigley Field in Chicago, Illinois for the Frozen Confines Big Ten Hockey Series. What a time for college hockey. Outdoor hockey in the Windy City. Notre Dame and Penn State. It's still loose top of the crease and cleared out to the point. Shootout on the way at Wrigley Field. Round 8 coming up next. Still only 1 goal for both teams. This is ridiculous. And Ryan Helliwell will be the shooter for Notre Dame. And he initially went to the wrong side of the ice. That's how deep we're going. The shooters don't know where to shoot. Now here he comes left to right. Left-handed shooter to the hash marks as he started right and scores! A backhand beauty upstairs! Ryan Helliwell has put Notre Dame a save away from winning the shootout. Oh my gosh, he didn't know where he was going, but he did with the shot. A bottle popper underneath the bar. And it's going to come down to J.J. Webush, the freshman. Mano-a-mano against Kempf. On his way in, right-handed shooter. Stick handles, save Nicholas Kempf. The Irish win the shootout. Hey, Chicago, what do you say? What a college hockey game at Wrigley Field. Notre Dame ties Penn State and takes the shootout in 8 rounds. Ryan Helliwell and Nicholas Kempf, the heroes in Chicago. In just more than 2 hours, or perhaps a little bit longer, we're going to find out whether Notre Dame or Minnesota will play in the Big Ten semifinal round a week from this weekend. As tonight, it's Game 3 of the Big Ten quarterfinal series between the 2nd-seeded Golden Gophers of the University of Minnesota and the 7th-seeded Fighting Irish of Notre Dame. As the Irish come into the Gopher end, Larrigan with room, right circle, fires, save made by Airy, it's behind him and in! Jaden Davis! Notre Dame strikes first! JD could not have picked out a better time for his first goal of the season. He does it in Game 3 of the Big Ten quarterfinal, and the Irish lead 1-0 with 2:35 to go in the first. Behind the net, Biondi wraps it around, tucks it on goal, save made, rebound, score! Grant Silanoff! The Edina native returns to the Twin Cities with Notre Dame's 2nd goal of the night. And with 16:16 to go in period 2, the Irish lead by a pair. Now Knuble has it for Notre Dame. Saucers to Janicki, left wing over the Gopher line. Knuble going to net, back to him. Forehand, backhand, scores! Cole Knuble, massive goal, 3-1. 4-1 Notre Dame, they're going to do it. They're going to do it. 30 seconds to go now. Still 4-1. Gruba still has the puck. The Let's Go Irish chant returns. Minnesota slides it into the Irish zone. 20 seconds to go. Notre Dame clears. Kester on it at the Gopher blue line. Slaggert watching. He'll dump it back in. 15 seconds to go. Save behind the net. He won't shoot for the empty net. He'll give it to Strand. Length of the ice. That one's wide. Rebound to Slaggert. He's in there first. Slaps it high and wide. 5 seconds left. Silanoff on the rebound. Ties it up. The upset of the year in Big Ten hockey. Notre Dame's going to East Lansing. They win it in Minneapolis 4-1. Michigan State and Notre Dame each with plenty to play for on this final day of the Big Ten season. The Spartans currently in a tie for first place with the Minnesota Golden Gophers. Minnesota's at Penn State tonight. Michigan State right here at Notre Dame. The Spartans have the head-to-head advantage, so MSU can guarantee itself a share of the Big Ten regular season title and the number 1 seed in the conference postseason tournament with a regulation win here tonight. Notre Dame, meanwhile, looking to get head coach Jeff Jackson his 600th career win in his final game as the Notre Dame head hockey coach here at the Compton Family Ice Arena. The Irish will have 2 more opportunities in the first round of the Big Ten tournament next weekend, but those games will both be on the road. Tonight's officials are Colin Kronforst, Jonathan Satarski, Jake Davis, and Pat Richardson. Kronforst and Satarski are the referees. Davis and Richardson, the linesmen. Michigan State, coached by Adam Nightingale in his 3rd season. Notre Dame, of course, by Jeff Jackson in his 20th and final year. The Irish will start this one off skating from right to left in their Belfast navy blue jerseys. They're some of the most beautiful specialty jerseys released in college hockey this year. It's all navy blue under the shiny gold helmets. The Book of Kells inspired gold letters and numbers on the back. Irish spelled out in cursive across the front. Michigan State in its home whites with Michigan State written out across the chest. And the puck is down. We are underway. Michigan State wins the draw, moving from left to right, and they'll go D to D to get this one started. They played up the right wing for Tanner Kelly, who finds his man Tomi Manisto into the offensive zone. Quick shot, glove saved by the birthday boy, Nicholas Kempf, and he holds on in the Irish crease. Kempfer turns 19 years old here today on this 1st of March 2025. He's making his first start for the Irish since Saturday the 8th of February. It's been 3 weeks for him, as Owen Say has had the hot hand as of late in between the pipes for Notre Dame, but Say wasn't great in last night's 5-2 loss, stopping 33 of the 37 shots he saw. So Kempf is back in there. Michigan State wins this draw to his left and takes a shot from the left point by Patrick Gary. It's blocked down and ends up looping around to the near corner where Mastro Domenico battles Manisto for the puck. 25 seconds in, no score. Spartan holds his own. Gary takes a shot from the high slot. That one's kicked away by Ryan Helliwell, and it goes straight up into the netting, far side corner. And with 19:31 to go in the first period, another stoppage. Another good crowd on hand here at the Compton Family Ice Arena. It was a sellout crowd last night of 5,043. And it looks close to another one here tonight. As Notre Dame gets its top-listed forward line out there for the first time, Danny Nelson takes the face-off against the Wisconsin transfer Charlie Stramel and wins it. However, the Spartans keep the zone at the right point. David Gucciardi, who scored the opening goal last night, holds it in. Now the Irish come out. Cole Knuble dangles down the left wing. He's over the Spartan line. Knuble top the left circle, looking to center. He can't, so he'll pull up and find Fisher. One-timer left point, stick save, Augustine. As the rebound comes to the near half wall for Danny Russell, and the Spartans are out. Here's Isaac Howard, the leading scorer. His next point will be his 100th for his career as he dumps it into the far corner in 4 checks with Russell and Stramel. Spartans have it back at the blue line now. Left point west, right point Basgol shoots low. Kemp scoops it up and holds against the chest with 18:54 to play in period number 1. This is game number 150 all-time between Notre Dame and Michigan State. The Spartans lead the series 80-53 with 16 ties. So the Irish have a 33-30 edge with 11 ties here at Compton. Michigan State, the better team as of late in this matchup, winning 10 of the last 12 games going back to February of 2023. Face off to Kemp's left. Michigan State offensive zone. Spartans win it. Basgol shoots off the blocker, and then it's caught on the rebound by Dorwart with Kemp sliding out of the crease. Fortunately, he had no chance to stuff it in as it went behind the cage. Now West shoots off the lively end wall from the left point. Then it came back behind Kemp. Follow-up try from the right point goes high by Basgol as the Spartans nearly burn the Irish with those end boards again. And now Henry Nelson making his series debut hoists the puck out for Notre Dame. Strand dumps it in. MSU scored a goal on a point shot that went off the end boards and hit the back of Owen Say's skate last night. Here come the Spartans back into the Irish zone 3-on-3. Dorwart will slap it around in the near corner where Helliwell's waiting for it. He'll wind it up the wall to Silanoff and all the way down. Should be icing. And it is with 18:08 to play in the first period. It's something that Jeff Jackson talked about post-game last night. Michigan State plays in a rink, Munn Ice Arena in East Lansing, that features extremely active and lively end boards, and the Spartans are well trained to use them on those point shots. They will shoot intentionally wide several times a game and look for those healthy caroms to generate chances at the crease or even ricochets off the goaltender. And They shot one that went off the wall and behind Kemp, who was out of the crease moments ago. Now the Irish off the defensive zone face-off win, played out across the red line. Michigan State, however, forces it back in deep. Zach Plusinski passes to an open space far side. Sturback, the MSU defenseman, wires it back into the Irish zone. Helliwell pokes it out. Now it's at the red line. Sturback and Gary, the MSU defenseman, pass to one another. Now Vansagi, the freshman's into the Irish zone. Shooting and scoring. Bar down from the left dot. Another highlight reel goal on a Saturday against the Irish for Vansagi. And it's 1-0 MSU, less than 2.5 minutes in. 2 seconds left, puck comes free, overtime in Minneapolis. Minnesota 3, Notre Dame 3. And once again, the Irish will play in overtime. It's the 5th time Notre Dame's needed more than 60 minutes to decide a hockey game this season. They're 1-2-1 when going beyond regulation. An overtime win against Wisconsin at home on November 1st. Cole Knuble scored the winning goal. 2 road losses to Michigan and Ohio State in November and December, respectively, in overtime, and then the shootout win in 8 rounds against Penn State at Wrigley Field on January 3rd. Meanwhile, for Minnesota, this is overtime game number 5. The Golden Gophers are 1-1-2. Brody Zemer has the only overtime goal of the season for Minnesota. That was against Wisconsin on the road on November 9th. Cole Knuble has 2 of the 3 overtime goals on Notre Dame's roster. The other one belongs to Grant Silanoff. It was against Michigan on November 12th, 2022. Meanwhile, Minnesota has 2 overtime goals from Jimmy Snuggerud in his career. One of them against the Irish last year on senior night. He scored both of his career overtime goals a season ago. And if this thing gets to a shootout, Minnesota has lost 9 straight shootouts. They've missed 23 straight attempts. The Golden Gophers don't have a shootout goal since February 14, 2020. Here's how it's going to go. It's a 5-minute 3-on-3 overtime. Both teams have already earned a conference point, so the Irish now have 10 Big Ten points on the season, Minnesota 31. It'll be a 5-minute 3-on-3 overtime. If a team scores a goal to win in overtime, they'll get the extra point, a second point. The game will go down as a win for the winner, a loss for the loser. If the 5 minutes go by without a winner, we go to a shootout. The game will go down officially as a tie. But the team that wins the shootout, which is a 3-round shootout, will get the extra Big Ten point. 5 minutes go up on the clock. The Irish will skate from right to left against Liam Soulier, who has stopped 25 of 28 tonight. Minnesota will go left to right on Owen Say, who has stopped 29 of 32. Fisher, Danny Nelson, Justin Janicki, the Irish skaters, Snuggerud, Huglin, and Rinzel for Minnesota. Puck's down, Danny Nelson wins it straight back, all the way on goal. Say's going to leave it aside for Fisher behind the net. Notre Dame the first possession of overtime. Fisher still waiting, 10 seconds in. 3-3 tie in Minneapolis. Fisher begins to eke out of the zone, finds Danny Nelson in neutral ice. He'll give it back to Fisher on the left wing. Fisher over the Minnesota line, cuts along the blue line, makes his move to the high slot against Huglin. Fisher, right circle, protects on his backhand. Sends it back to Janicki at the blue line. Justin Janicki, high slot. Hat trick a week ago against Michigan for him, and he'll take it back into neutral ice. Danny Nelson heads off. Cole Knuble's out there with 2 overtime winners in his career. Janicki over the Minnesota line, left circle, behind the net. Justin Janicki, watched by Rinzel. And he'll come out of the zone again. 4:10 left in overtime. Cole Knuble. Saucers, Biondi's open, left dot, couldn't catch the pass on his backhand. Still it's in the Minnesota zone with the Irish. Biondi power move in front. Taken away by Minnesota. And Cole Knuble gets it back though. Bottom of the left circle. Golden Gophers want a penalty. Kumlin down the left half wall. Gives it back to Knuble, who couldn't find it at first in the high slot. 3:45 left in overtime. Minnesota has not possessed the puck yet. Knuble enters the Minnesota zone right side and then peels back into the neutral zone one more time. He's out there with Kumlin and Biondi. Kumlin back in the Irish zone. Knuble makes a change. Strand out there now. Biondi makes his move inside the hash marks. Couldn't reach the puck. He'll slap it back to Strand left point, and back he goes to the neutral zone. Henry Nelson gets out there. So does Grant Silanoff. Silanoff into the Minnesota zone left side against Moore. Left out, he doesn't shoot. Silanoff behind the net. Luke Mittelstadt checks him. Around to the far corner. Strand pinches down, keeps possession, and then pitches it high in the air to Silanoff, right point. Silanoff outside of the right circle for Strand. 3:05 left in overtime. Strand in the high slot. Back to the left point. He's back skating. He finds Silanoff right point. Silanoff right dot. Centers towards Strand. On goal. It went behind the net. Silanoff. Henry Nelson up top. Snuggerud watching him as Henry Nelson goes back to neutral ice. 2:45 left in overtime. Notre Dame has had the puck for 2 minutes and 15 seconds straight. Nelson leaves it for Janicki, right point of the Minnesota zone. He goes back to the neutral zone again. These Minnesota fans are getting frustrated, watching the Irish go all over the ice with the puck. They haven't shot yet either. Danny Nelson now picks up speed, entering the Minnesota zone right side, cuts back to the slot. Nelson shoots. That one's wide of Souliere. Fisher crashes down, and Notre Dame keeps possession. Janicki right point, toward the slot. Right circle, Nelson is there in front. Janicki will peel back in the far corner. 2:10 left in overtime. 3-3 tie. Paul Fisher right point now on the drop pass. Makes a move on Wood, goes to the net. Fisher! Stopped by the right pad of Souliere, but he keeps the puck on the rebound. It was a backhand, forehand power move down the goal line. Now Danny Nelson over the Minnesota line. Top of the right circle. Nelson shoots. Souliere the save. He holds on with 1:53 left in overtime. 3 minutes and 7 seconds of Notre Dame possession time to start overtime. I, for one, would not have expected this against a Minnesota team that has 16 NHL draft picks. The Irish have played an incredibly composed overtime. They're not taking unnecessary shots. They're taking the puck back into neutral ice when they have to, and they're winning faceoffs. Cole Knuble wins this one back, and it's Kumlin back in the Irish end. 1:45 left in OT. Here comes Knuble, picking up speed through neutral zone. Knuble veers left into the high slot, drops for Kumlin. Axel Kumlin waiting, and he goes back to neutral ice with John Mittelstadt near him. Blake Biondi back at the Irish blue line. 1.5 minutes to go in overtime. Threw it past Knuble, and now Chesley's going to get the puck for Minnesota. Biondi hounding him from behind, and he took the puck away. Kumlin right point. Knuble left point, top of the circle. Knuble moves into the slot, wants to shoot. Biondi back door, scores! Overtime winner, Blake Biondi! Notre Dame had the puck for 3 minutes and 46 seconds to start the 3-on-3, and it ends with the Hermantown, Minnesota native finishing the road trip back to his home state with the game-winning goal. Final score, Notre Dame 4, third-ranked Minnesota 3 in overtime.